All right, market is open. Um, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do here. This price action is not good at all. Um, I doubt we'll take a trade today. I doubt anything worthwhile would set up. Price action looks absolutely terrible. Um, no clear draws on liquidity, no LRL, no nothing. Only thing we have is, a sweep of these 15-minute lows. Tap into that gap. And then no LRL above. I mean, I guess in theory, like, we swept out some liquidity. Overall, we're bearish, though. Um, Swap out those 15-minute lows right there. Tap into that 15-minute gap. Have this high inside of a fair value gap right there. I mean, it could work, but it could work. It could. It could, but I'm not taking that crap. That shit looks terrible. Maybe if we generated some better liquidity to lead us up to that high, I could do it, but not with this structure. It's pretty clear that, the market wants to draw down to yesterday's Asia lows. So have a clear low right there. Have those clear lows right there. Only thing we could really do is look for some sort of 15-minute continuation model. That's pretty much it. I don't like longs here. I mean, the longs are just really bad here. So yeah, and that's even if we don't hit these draws in the next 30 minutes or so. We also have some guy speaking at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. today, which he's probably already talked for sure, but some Fed chair dude. Let me see. Fed chair Warsh speech. So I guess this is the new guy. Then we have ISM. We have PMI at 10 o'clock. So we're definitely just gonna wait to see what we can generate here. It'd be nice if we could I don't even want to take longs in this, honestly. I think longs down here is genuinely just a pattern trade. Longs down here, just simply a pattern trade, nothing less of it. Overall bearish on the day. If we do get an 800 point dump, if we get like a 1,000 point dump, 300 point dump on NQ, and then we get that long set up, it's just a really bad trade. Especially if structure continues to look the way structure is looking. So I already anticipated price to be pretty bad, obviously just by looking at the structure of it for one. Then if you come out to the 4-hour time frame, we have this 4-hour gap that we respected. Now we're disrespecting this 4-hour gap right here. But only problem is you guys can see how aggressively we're moving down towards these lows and these lows. So obviously, my drawn liquidity is lower, but is there going to be any entry? That's the question now. I think the answer to that question is going to be no. It is a day before PMI, or no, a day before NFP, because we have NFP Thursday. So Probably not going to be doing anything. And then Friday, we have nothing. So far, I'm going to, obviously finish this week out strong. But last week, there was only one good setup as well. On that Monday, there was only one good setup. Yesterday, the only setups were on the 15-second chart, the 30-second chart. I saw some dude take this yesterday, believe it or not. I saw somebody on my Instagram took this trade, and then he targeted 2R. Now, yes, it worked out, right? It worked out. But any buy, anywhere would have worked out yesterday. And this was his trade. Was this 5-minute inverse up here. After we sweep these 15-minute lows over here, he took this 5-minute inverse. Now, I want to say that this is a terrible trade, for one. This is a terrible trade. I doubt the guy watching this will see this video, but just for the sake of you seeing it, this isn't to make fun of anybody, but just for future references, this is a terrible trade. Not only do we sweep out the target that we should have been targeting, our entry, we had a valid entry down here. Our entry should have been down here targeting these highs. Instead, we already take out these highs, and then he takes this 5-minute inverse, which is no longer valid. This 5-minute inverse gap doesn't mean anything all the way up here. He won. So he made money. But, making money all the time isn't the best sign that you were correct. You know what I'm saying? But either way, like I was saying, last week there was only one good setup, and we ended up missing the one good setup and then chasing a better setup for the rest of the week. And there were no good setups. So this week, we caught the trade of the week. And even if we didn't catch the trade of the week, we're going to continue to be perfect, because that's just what we do. Because we're the best at what we do. We just got to act like it. Friday, I have a tea time scheduled for 8 in the morning, 8:50 in the morning. So we're going to attempt to, trade on our phones, see how that goes. I don't think it'll be too bad. But we're going to attempt to trade on our phones and stuff. And it should be fun. I've never had a AM tea time. So that'll definitely be cool as well. Also have this 9:30 wick up there. Would love to see us, hit that 9:30 wick. Would love to see us hit that 9:30 wick. Tap into a 5-minute gap. And then get a very strong reaction out of this. If we could leave some engineered liquidity, some engineered lows on our way up. And then immediate V-shape back down. That would be beautiful if we can get that. I was going to mark out something. Yeah, our fib. So we're going to mark out the daily trading range so far. Obviously, overall, we are in a premium. Or obviously, overall, we are in a discount. But this daily trading range, it looks something like that. So, hopefully we could come back up here, hit equilibrium, hit the 79% retracement. Also leaving engineered lows, along with the clear higher time frame drawn liquidity, being this 4-hour low and this 4-hour low. And then have us a nice clean V-shape back down. Hopefully forming a 15-minute as well. that we end up respecting. That would just be A plus. That would be so great. That would be so beautiful. If we can do that. If we can do that, that'd just be beautiful, wouldn't it? I'm also reading an audiobook. So, with I last in 2023, I believe, I read 12 books that year. Every day I would read 10 pages a day. I did that for about 8 or 9 months, and I read 12 books. So I basically read a book a month. And I was reading the Power. It's a really famous book. It's like orange and stuff. It's like 600 pages. But I was reading that, and that's kind of where, I stopped because it was so wordy and stuff. But now I switched over to audiobooks, and I will say that is the best, thing I've done is switch over to audiobooks, because in a day I listened to about 3 chapters, and it would take me, 30 minutes to get through a chapter of, a decently long book. So this was all the notes that I got just on me laying in my bed. Just on me laying in my bed, bro. I got all these notes based on this book. And it's about Self-Discipline and Time Management by Steve G. Martin. Great book so far. I love it. So what I plan on doing is, after I read every book, then I'll buy the physical copy of the book to add to my bookshelf, because obviously all the books I've read I have in my possession. So I think having a bookshelf is the biggest flex, and is one of the biggest flexes, you know what I'm saying? Like, every book up here I've read personally, you know what I'm saying? Like, I read all these books. But like, books are worthless if you don't apply the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? So today, I learned about, yesterday I learned about tapping into a 5-minute gap. Me personally, I despise taking 5-minute gap retracements. I despise it. I despise taking 5-minute gap retracements. So I don't care if this ends up working out. I'm not taking that. This up here is supposed to be a breakaway gap anyway, so we're never supposed to fill this. If we're gonna draw to these lows right now, I do think overall this is the day, like, this is where the day will draw to. But if we're gonna draw to it now, this gap is gonna stay open. I just don't like taking 5 minutes. But yeah, so little interesting thing I learned. They said 2 hours of planning and organization prior to the start of the week can save you about 2 to 3 hours, or 3 to 4 hours per day. They say the average human spends about 2 hours of their day looking for things, like another hour of their day trying to catch up on things that they missed, etc., etc. So if we would just take that time to, make sure everything's in the right spot when it's time to be in the right spot, we can save ourselves a lot of time on the back end. And they said also everything is like a domino effect. Like, if we're late on one thing, say we have a meeting at 8:45, if we had things that we put off after the meeting, let's say the meeting goes over. Now those things that we put off before the meeting now has to be done after the meeting, but the meeting went over. So now you don't have time to do it over because you got something else to do. Now that small thing becomes a big thing because we pushed it off for so long. So it was just a little interesting thought. Interesting thought. So right now we are, like I said, generating some nice LRL. I don't think that this 15-minute gap will stay open. But I don't think that 15-minute gap is going to stay open at all. But we got this 930. Got this 930 wick right there. Now, I don't love I don't love 930 as just as a reversal. We would definitely have to wait for us to sweep out some liquidity. So if we do end up taking out you know, these 15-minute highs, oh my gosh, bro, if we chop all the way up here, let me get my path tool to show you guys what I'm looking for, bro. Now, I don't really want to come up with a plan for market open. I typically just want to react, but we have to talk this out so we don't talk ourselves into any longs here. What would be ideal is if we chop up, bam, bam. Alright, what the fuck, yeah. Come on, yeah. Oh, it's a brush tool. I was supposed to drag it. Alright, like this. Damn, man. That would be absolutely ideal. Just engineer all this liquidity down here. Just engineer all of that stuff. And then have us trend line V shape all the way back down, take out all this trend line liquidity, and then just slam and jam all the way down to those 4-hour lows. I gotta clear my charts though, because I put a lot of shit on the chart. So this is a 15-minute high inside of a fair value gap, which is also, you know, a nice draw on liquidity. Pretty nice draw on liquidity, so we'll just go ahead and mark that out. Mark out these very obvious 1-hour lows. Then don't forget, we also have 10 a.m. news. Boomski. Also have 10 a.m. news. So these long form videos take a long time to upload, but it doesn't matter, bro. This is a lot better. When I'm watching all my videos back, you know, this is a live journal for me. You can't skip out on the live journal. You need to be able to see your thought process, etc., etc. Now we could, you know, reverse here. Technically, we hit equilibrium. We could reverse here. We definitely could. But you know, 10 a.m.'s coming up. We're gonna see what 10 a.m. wants to give us. Got about 10 minutes. Only 10 candles, man. So hopefully we can make another leg up and then create us another higher low. Like I said, I want price to make some good LRL for us to target to get us back down to these hourly lows. So that's what I want to see. That's pretty much the only way we can get an entry here, because we don't have a 15-minute continuation model. We had that off the open, and I saw price was just really bad. Had a 1-minute inverse right there. So price action just overall just really poor after we took out these lows right here. I'm looking right here. See if we can find us if we had a decent pre-market entry. There's really no IFVGs anywhere to the downside that we could have targeted. Other than this right here, let's say we would have took this one, immediate stop out. But even if you take this trade as well, after you inverse this big gap with, you know, nice V shape as well, this trade doesn't work out either, because you take this trade, stops right there. You have to go break even after you take out these lows. You have to. You expect speed below here. We didn't get the speed or the delivery. You can see we chopped around a lot, but that's right at market open. So there's been no trades at all today. No valid setups and stuff. But right now we're creating some beautiful structure to the upside, which is exactly what I wanted to see. We closed this in 7 minutes. Now, the thing is, obviously, if you zoom out to the 4-hour time frame, we're bullish, right? We're bullish, right? We're respecting this 4, respecting that 4. So, what I need to see is, you know, definitely us form this hourly fair value gap, and I need to see us respect this 4-hour gap. We have some nice LRL overall on the 15-minute. We're definitely respecting bearish PD arrays, disrespecting bullish PD arrays. But now we tapped into this 30-minute and this 1 hour unmitigated gap, and now we're getting a bullish reaction out of that. I couldn't bring myself to take these longs because I think the longs there is not a good trade. Only sell side you sweep out is this 15-minute low, but I mean that's not even a major. It's not even a major liquidity pool, bro. Honestly, that's literally just a swing low that you took out. Internal range low that we take out. So boomski, take out the internal range low right there, and then what? You take this 1 minute gap back to the upside. Yeah, right, dog. Yeah, freaking right, dog. If anybody took that trade, you're a bot, bro. It's a bad trade. I don't care. And I bet if I go to Instagram, I don't think anybody in their right mind would have taken that trade.
You have to say 6, 7, 5 times fast. I'll do an example. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7.
Okay.
And I'm going to time it, and we're going to clock your time and see how well you do. Okay, ready?
Yeah, wait, okay. I gotta lock in.
Put your hair back a little bit. It will help with the arm speed. Probably.
I don't know if that's gonna help with the arm speed. I don't know if that's gonna
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Boom! Record.
I'm not even kidding. That might have been the record, but I missed time. Can we get one more? We need to clock the time, the official time. I missed the time a little bit. One more just for the official time. The 6-7 challenge consists.
You know a trader that he doesn't inspire me, but I like his aesthetic. I like what he does. I like what he likes. You know what I'm saying? It's Fearing Trades. If you guys don't know Fearing Trades, this guy, I love the video. I love the type of content he makes. I love the trades he takes. He's a great trader. Never even heard the guy talk, bro. Never heard the guy talk. Nobody's ever heard the guy talk, but he has 13K on Instagram. I've been following Fearing Trades since he's had like 2,000 followers. And yeah, bro, overall, definitely one of my most favorited traders in the space. One of my most favorite traders in the space, for sure. Fearing Trades. They're buried at Jenkins, Sycamore. So this is lining up to be really freaking perfect, boys. we got a lot. We got some beautiful, beautiful low resistance liquidity there. Some beautiful low resistance liquidity. Not the cleanest, but we do have it. Overall bearish. Are respecting this 15-minute gap, however. But we want to see how we react off of these highs. That's what we want to see get taken out. Hopefully 10 a.m. can drive us up there. So left equal highs at that 9:30 as well. Left perfect equal highs at that 9:30. So we'll see what we can get there. Unfortunately, we have a great draw right here as well that I don't think that we're gonna be able to get. Yeah, we're just not gonna be able to hit those. Under Jenkins, Sycamore. We're not gonna be able to take a trade up to those 9:30 highs. It's all good. But yeah, just some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Under Jenkins, Sycamore. So hopefully 10 a.m. can pile drive us up to these highs. Sweep out these 15-minute highs and just we're gonna need a great reaction out of here because we're respecting this 15-minute gap. So respecting that 15-minute, that's the only negative. But if we start disrespecting, bullish PD arrays, now this is a trade that I would go, like half size on. Hey, there you go. Under Jenkins, Sycamore. Mama. Would you look at that? 10 a.m. drew us right there. We're going to take a second to calm ourselves down. We're going to calm ourselves down. Under Jenkins, Sycamore. Bro. I literally never charge these headphones. They're all types of messed up at the top of these, bro. Like, I don't know what happened, but I had a case for them and it just disappeared. It's just all the paint and stuff's coming off of these, man. These are busted. Bro, like, I've been getting so many DMs about, you know, people wanting to stay connected with me and stuff. This is my Instagram account. I got 65 followers. I remember when I started this from ground zero. We're not a hero yet, but we're working our way from ground zero to hero. And, we're working our way from ground zero to hero. And, you know, it's just pretty cool to see, you know, just where consistency can get you. Because that's all that got me here so far was consistency. You know, our first goal is 100 followers, obviously. So, we're just going to continue to do what we do. Every day, the minimum amount of videos I post has been 1. It's been pretty difficult. You know, when I have a wedding plan, when I got a lot of plans and stuff for the day, when I got a lot of plans and stuff for the day, man, like, man, it'd be hard to, it'd be, like, almost hard. It'd, like, almost be impossible to post, you know, 4, 5, 6 videos on a weekend when there's nothing happening. When there's nothing happening, when I'm not doing anything, when the markets aren't open, it's just so difficult because, like, you know, other traders and stuff, when they got, like, hella bread, they go to, like, you know, nice restaurants, they take a weekend trip somewhere. But, nigga, for me, nigga, I'm in the bed, I'm in the gym. If I'm not in the bed, I'm at the gym. And if I'm not at the gym, I'm fucking eating food or watching a movie, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or laying down here reading a book, bro. That's, like, what type of content could I make? And it's even worse when I'm, like, out doing stuff as well. So if I'm at the gym and then the boys are like, all right, let's go to Aldi's, get something to eat. You know, so I go to Aldi's, get some food. And then last Sunday, man, I woke up, immediately went, cleaned my room, left the house, went cliff jumping. Right after cliff jumping, I'm showering in the back of a van. And I'm driving an hour and a half to a wedding, rushing, slamming beers. Ain't even on my phone, bro. It's too damn hot to be on my phone. It just be hard, bro. Like, it just be so motherfucking hard. Under Jenkins, Sycamore. Mama, could you please? Mama. You know, we would be tapping into this 5-minute gap here. Like I said, I don't like taking 5-minute gap retracements, but, you know, it's what we got here. Do have the rest of this 15-minute gap up here that we could still respect. We're in this 15-minute gap now. I just want to see this high inside of the fair value gap get taken out. This is just so it's so almost juicy. You know, it's like bittersweet a little bit. But we do have this hourly gap that we're about to tap into after we sweep that 15-minute high, tap into an hourly gap. It's just such a bittersweet trade because we have this hourly gap right here. You know, that hourly gap almost, it's like, dude, like, why are you there? You're like ruining the potential of this setup almost. Like, really ruining the potential of the setup. But You know, we are going to just look and see how the market is going to react. I know what we have. I know overall on the hourly time frame we've been respecting bearish PD arrays, so now it's time to respect another bearish PD array. Had 10 a.m. news, definitely starting to slow down here. But we shouldn't leave this high though. We shouldn't leave this high here. No, it's a rejection block. It's a rejection block because we tapped on the 50% of this, so that makes a rejection block. Not a fucking rejection block. It's a drawn liquidity. It has to get hit. This drawn liquidity will get hit. It's a rejection block. Fuck a rejection block, bitch. Fuck a rejection block. Forming a nice 2 minute there. All we gotta do is just, there we go. So now all we gotta do is I'd like to see a little push higher. Definitely would want to see, you know, push higher. But I don't want to take this CISD here. CISDs are great. I would prefer we don't take a CISD though. I prefer we don't take one, however. Mama, could you please, mama? Prefer not. So hopefully we get, you know, one more push higher for 3 minutes, and then we just totally death dive through that gap and target these lows right here. There's all these look at all these generational lows right there, just stacking up for the taking. Just stacking up for the taking. But form us a fair value gap that we can inverse. Mama. And I would like to take a higher time frame inverse than a 1 minute here, because what I've noticed is typically when we have gaps that are like the hourly, like an hourly gap or a 4-hour gap, we don't like to deliver off those immediately, because think about it like this. It's a higher time frame gap, so you would want a higher time frame inverse. You wouldn't take a daily fair value gap and then an entry on the 1 minute chart, because it's going to take some time to play out. It works the same way with these. We have an hourly gap. Your first 1 minute gap might inverse, but overall, you know, price hasn't fully, you know, relinquished itself. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So ideally, you know, if we're taking an hourly gap, we take a 4 minute inverse. And if we're taking a 4-hour gap, we take a 5 minute inverse, etc., etc. Feed it, man. Feed it, man. I'm really wondering if anybody was, you know, if anybody saw it in their heart enough to take these longs. That'd be pretty interesting. with Jonathan Williams? Have an inverse gap right there. Have an inverse gap right there, but it's so fucking tiny, bro. It's so fucking tiny. Really? Look at that rejection though, brother. Weird.
I'm gonna walk up to the next girl, and I need y'all to start glazing me as soon as I walk up to her, alright? Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I just thought you were so beautiful. Wait, Royal. The return pass. Yeah. Girl, in transition. I was trying to get her. Is it cool if I get your number? Wade finds. Yeah, a little bit. Get your number though. So beautiful. Really? You look good. Huh? I'm going back to the hotel. To get rhythm. Kevin to Curry for three.
So inverse is little weak out, 1 minute gap. Not buying it. Not buying it, bro. I'm not. How could I buy this? How could I buy it? You're trying to finagle me, nigga. Quit trying to finagle a nigga. What is my... Bro, it's like literally like this, bro. It's so tiny, bro. Oh my gosh. This is, you know, the part where we potentially enter off of a CISD because that's just the worst survey gap I've ever seen. But we got LRL. We got everything, B. We got all that shit, bro. It's just such a bad entry. Like I wouldn't even be happy with this entry. You know, maybe I wouldn't mind here, you know, like a 2022 model entry. I wouldn't mind it. But I have to do the CISD here. This price is so choppy, man. Price is so choppy. I really want to wait for a fair value gap. I really want to wait. I want to wait for an IFVG. And god damn it, that's what I'm gonna do. God damn it, that's what I'm gonna fucking do. I want an inverse gap. So that's what I'm gonna fucking do, is wait for an inverse gap. after we inverse an IFVG, after we inverse a fair value gap, a clear fair value gap, that's when I can determine if price is going to be ready to rock and roll. Not taking this little ass shirt, birch. This shit is so small, bro. Like, how can you even generate anything like that? How can anybody even be like, oh yeah, that's an inverse gap right there? No, bro, I can't get behind that. What I can get behind is an inverse gap like this, however. Inverse gap like this, inverse that, clear break even, clear LRL. That's what I can get behind. I can get behind this. Clear break even, clear LRL, etc., etc. Now, when we do that, our trade can look something like this. Probably just target like this low or something. Because I don't even need all of this, bro. I really don't. Like, this is a funded account, bro. I don't need freaking 7R on that. Of course, you didn't close pretty. Of course, you didn't close good at all. Dog, like. So, nevertheless, we do have an IVG here. We do. Like I said, hourly gap, you wouldn't necessarily take a 30-second entry off of a 4-hour gap. I mean, technically it'd be valid. Not something I'm a big fan of. So, not something I'm a huge fan of. So we're still going to be waiting for an IVG here. Still in this hourly gap. Obviously. Are generating, a lot more lows here, etc., etc. If we do end up inversing this gap, this little gap right there, will also get us a CISD, and we can target something like that. But I want to get that CISD first. So if we do end up getting this CISD, then we will enter on that. I want to see how we close here. We look like PA is going to be pretty bad. PA is going to be really bad if we enter this. PA is going to be so poor. Hey boys, we might have to call it, man. No bad, we just might have to call it. obviously, you know, this trade, if we were a bot and just entered off that inverse gap, and we were bots just entered off that inverse gap, you know, we'd probably be getting cooked up here, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think us taking a trade here is the move. We wanted to see, you know, some speed, which we're not getting. Not getting out of this. Like I said, you know, we rejected off this 15-minute gap, so only problem is there's no entry long or short. You know, we're stuck between two PD arrays. Stuck between two PD arrays on the 4-hour, so we gotta give price a chance to decide where we want to go. And with that, we're not gonna do this anymore, man. We're done. I don't care what price does anymore. We're calling this at 10:30. You know, clearly this isn't high probability price action. I don't want to even look at the charts anymore and, you know, see this inverse, get this CISD, and then talk myself into, you know, some weak ass short here. Obviously, you know, the liquidity looks great. Just the delivery and price action, it just isn't going to be there. We've lost money on it before. I've learned my fucking lesson. I'm not doing that shit anymore. I don't feel comfortable taking this trade, so I'm not going to do it. Fuck everybody else that took a trade today. I'm done. I wasted so much time on my computer. I'm definitely going to, like, you know, cut some off this video to make it a little bit shorter. But how long is this recording? An hour and a half probably. So I'll see you boys. Might not be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's an FP. We might full port for an FP. I don't know yet. I'll see y'all boys.